Merry, Merry, Merry Christmas, beautiful people. We are back. 12 deals of Christmas. This is post Christmas, the 26th. Many of you are all Christmased out. Some of you guys did not get enough, but like always, I enjoy being here with you all. What's up, Andrew?
What's up, brother? Good to
Good to
see you,
see
man.
you. Say one more thing. Let me just make
Testing
sure
one,
I.
two.
Oh, there you go. I gotcha.
Good to
How
see
was
you,
your flight?
man.
You
I
just
just
came
walked in
back.
the studio, as you know, because you're in a studio.
How was your flight? I know you just came back.
My flight was slightly delayed, but that's okay. Got me some good writing time, some good God time, some good thinking time on the plane, and even a couple good documentaries in. Had me a start. Of course, you know, 4:30 a.m. Louisville time is 1:30 a.m. this time. So my mental clock is readjusting as we speak.
You know, that's one thing I love about flights is you are forced to sit with your thoughts. Or you can put your mind completely on your phone and watch a bunch of movies and stuff. But I think it's always great to just sit there with your thoughts and ask yourself, hey, what do I need to work on? What do I need to focus on? And what does my next couple of weeks look like? Which has been my thoughts because of 2026 coming up on all the flights that we're on is just what do I want 2026 to look like?
Yeah.
What do you want 2026 to look like, Andrew?
So for me, I think it's about next levels of impact. And I know you and I, Leo, have been having a lot of discussions around this of how can we help Truca grow more? Because the ripple effect, the butterfly effect of Carrie and Lauren and Marlon and Kay succeeding. That's who's on my screen right now. At new levels, the ripple effect, the butterfly effect of that means that more good is going to happen. And I know we've been brainstorming potential charity events and some retreats that we're going to be doing and some really cool stuff where the Truca family gets to come together and do some amazing things. But for me, it's about saying how do we level up in every aspect and help everyone around us to do the same? But what about you? How would you describe your 2026 ahead, brother?
2026 is stepping up into the person and leader I know I'm called to be. It is developing greater systems. It has been a weakness of mine in the past, and I've discovered that. And so on flights, that's something I tell myself is how do I build better systems and become a better systems oriented thinker? As you know, I'm an idea machine. I have ideas every day, every minute,
An
every second. I have an
incredible
idea right
visionary.
now. I'm like, hey, I think we should do this next stream in Barcelona. That's an idea I have. But if I just let all my ideas win, would anything be executed? Probably not.
Mm.
So that's where I'm at. Is 2026 impact is such a important thing for the both of us to bring more people along to impact more, but impact is only as far as your systems go. And so we have to build systems for our impact. And that's what 2026 is going to look like for us really, Andrew, making that happen.
And I'm beyond excited about that. And I have another question for you. Before I ask you that, everyone, welcome back. It is the day after Christmas, and we're here. So type in the chat 1 out of 10. How's your energy? We got to make sure everybody's alive and awake, and the chicken or the turkey or the roast pig or whatever you had didn't settle in too much. And
I had Wagyu
so
beef, Drew.
the Wagyu beef.
My mama cooked some
Whoa!
Japanese Wagyu beef. It was the best thing ever.
You didn't
She
tell me
bought
that, or
this
I'd have stayed in
giant.
California. Shoot.
I know. I was blessed. We just got back from Japan, me and Andrew. We had so much Wagyu beef. And so coming home, being with my mom was such a good time. And she says, "Guess what I got? Got some Japanese Wagyu beef. Better call Andrew."
I love it.
It was good.
That's incredible. Now, coming off the heels of Christmas, we are over. This is last Christmas Eve officially marked halfway through the 12 deals of Christmas. So we are halfway through. Today is day 7 of 12, and we are going to
Wow.
be covering how to start the business right, how to start the year right. How are you going to start 2026 right? We're going to be talking tomorrow about sales and negotiation. How do we sell the properties once we contract them? And then we're going to be moving into some more aspects of making you a business owner. And we're going to be inviting a couple of you to come and apply to work with us. We got some really cool stuff in the works. On Monday, I'm going to dive deep into that. Between now and then, I'm going to be calling a bunch more of your leads. I don't know, a bunch more, a few more. You've been submitting them. We're going to be continuing to follow up. We have leads in the works. I know Kay contracted one, but right before Christmas. I know Joe and Judith
Boom.
has offers out. I know Christopher Chappelle has offers out. I know we have a bunch of other pendings and possibles and maybe some contracts. I've lost track. I can't keep track of all you guys in this, but that's good trouble. And that explains the ripple effect. But as you guys are coming back in, we're going to be hanging out here for the next hour, probably plus a little. And I just want to take these next few minutes and kind of jam a little bit, Leo. I want to ask you, what was some Christmas reflections, some realizations that you had that you want to share with everybody? I always love these types of discussions when we're not on camera. This is the type of discussions you and I have, and we always have such incredible light bulbs from them. And I just want to have that with everybody here hanging out watching.
Andrew, it is funny you ask this because Christmas is probably the only day out of 365 days that I don't let my brain think and reflect. Because I reflect every single day. Every night I reflect. Every morning I reflect. All throughout the day, before meetings, after meetings, I reflect. But Christmas, I'm just like, whatever you got cooking, I'm just gonna focus on the food and eat. We got some Christmas movies. I'm relaxing. I'm good. But I
Who
will tell you my thoughts from
who
this
else is like
morning.
that? Give me a yes in the chat if you're the turn the brain off for Christmas and focus on the food. Or give me an amen if you're feeling it.
I will tell you a thought from this morning that I think will help. Something that I have been thinking about is every time I have a massive breakthrough, Andrew, every time I've seen you have a massive breakthrough, and a lot of our students, is about 3 months after somebody asks, or I ask, or you ask, who do I need to step into in this next level?
Hmm.
Well, let's think about that question, right? I asked this on the, we have a Freedom Life men's call in the mornings on Friday mornings. We have a women's call, Freedom Life women's call coming too. It's just me and Andrew can't run it, so we had to find someone to run it. Um, but on this call, I had brought up this question like, who do you need to step into for this next season? And when we ask that, it's, questions are such a unique tool that we can use for ourselves because it opens up doors for our mind,
Hmm.
right? When we just stay in our world, in our bubble, no big question gets asked. It's just like, how are you? Hey, what'd you have for breakfast? Hey, would you, how's Uncle Danny? Right? Is he still doing what Uncle Danny does? Right? All these different family thoughts and questions happen, but nobody is asking the question of like, who do you need to step into? What's your biggest fear? How do you overcome it? These big questions. I have the philosophy that because of that, understanding that our family, our closest people, our influences won't ask us the question, we have to sit down and ask ourselves that question. Who do we need to step into? Because, Andrew, as you know, when we ask this question, it opens up the field of growth of things that we have not done yet, which is
Right.
not comfortable. Oh, I haven't been doing my workout plan. Oh, I haven't been making my calls. Oh, I haven't been taking the risks that I know I should have. Oh, I have been too comfortable. And so it's not a fun, you asked me the question, Andrew. This Christmas reflection of who do I need to step into is a question that I want to invite everyone to ask themselves because things will change because of this question that you asked today.
I think that's really good perspective. I tripped out for a moment because I realized I was watching you on my other screen, and on YouTube there's a 3-second lag, so you're still
Yeah, I know. I was like,
And
Are we, is it you? Is it me? Is it you?
I don't want to interrupt you. You're still talking on there. So, um, something I want to ask that I think is important because we're going to be talking about how to start right. You guys are going to want to grab your pens and papers and take some notes. Today, we're going to be touching on some of the lessons that we've learned. And I asked Leo the question before we went live. I said, "What would you tell 5 years ago, Leo, before you went and started doing real estate deals?" And shout out to you, Carrie, for getting another offer out. Shout out to all you guys who are winning. Keep sharing those wins. Type your wins in the chat. By the way, everybody, just type a win in the chat. A win from the Christmas holiday season here, the last 72 hours. What's a win? It may be a small win, it may be a big win, but shoot, being awake and alive and breathing and healthy is a win. So type a win in the chat. Everybody on YouTube, type a win in the chat. Everybody on Zoom. Um, what, Leo, would you tell yourself? What's the mind you need to come at this with? We're getting ready to call more sellers. Tomorrow we're talking about selling houses on lease option and how I've done that hundreds of times, how me and Robert's have done that hundreds of times. Robert texted me Merry Christmas as it was my acquisitionist dispositionist from years ago. Incredible guy. We're going to be talking about that. But what's the foundation? We're halfway through the 12 deals of Christmas. Everybody's here. You're getting reps in. What's that mental foundation you come at this with to win consistently? And the ups and the downs, and deals falling through, and deals coming through, and big checks coming in, and deals falling apart sometimes. What is that foundation we start with?
I would tell him, run, go back to your 9 to 5 because it was so comfy. I'm just kidding. I would tell him, Leo, you're in for a ride. This business is difficult. It is tough, but you can do it. However, the you right now, if I'm talking to my much younger self, I said the version of you right now cannot be extremely successful in the business.
Mm,
It just can't. But the version of you that you will become because of the trials and tribulations that you'll go through can be extremely successful, not only in this business, but any endeavor that you do want to hop into. And I would say, if you don't understand that now and accept that now, get out of this business. Go to a 9 to 5 because it's comfortable there. You don't have to grow much. You don't have to be much. You can still be who you are and have been and be successful there. Sometimes that life will reward you more than this life because this life, being an entrepreneur, requires a lot out of you. But the reward on this side is immense. It is freedom. It is and I'll explain freedom. It's having, because financial freedom is thrown around a lot. But what does that actually mean? It's the ability to have some control over your income based on the lifestyle that you want. If you do want to travel more in your life, you know that, trip to Barcelona might cost you and a spouse $2,600. Or if you want to go a little bit higher end, it might cost four, five, $6,000. Okay. Uh, and you know that a nice house, the dream house that you want, might be 7, 8K a month mortgage. Okay. So you can look at that and say, the dream life I want might cost me 25,000 a month. That's on the higher end. Let's be a little bit more conservative and say 15,000 a month. Okay. Then I know that in order to live that type of life, I have to make at least 15,000. So I can create a business that can afford me at least 15,000 a month, or in essence, at least 20,000 a month, so that I can afford that lifestyle. Do I recommend that? No. I think as you're building, you should find a lifestyle that you enjoy, whether it's 8K, 10K, and find a business that can afford you 20, 30, 40K a month so that you can continue to invest that money. But that type of freedom and ability to do that comes with a business like real estate. Okay. But what happens also? What's the sacrifice? Is that you go from 9 to 5 to 9 to 5 to then 5 to 9 and then go to sleep and wake up again 9 to 5 and then 5 to 9 wake up again, sometimes giving up a Saturday, sometimes giving up a Sunday. Oh crap, this hits, I got to give up a Christmas because I gotta solve this challenge that I just had in the business. What you're doing is you're giving up one comfortable life to then go into what could be a very up and down lifestyle, but to be able to afford the ability to have freedom financially. Now, Andrew, I want to, before I toss it to you to simplify that, because it could be a little bit scary to understand that, it is one of the most rewarding things to be able to have true freedom over the money you make, the freedom to travel when you want to travel, the freedom to have time with your family and your children and your mom and your parents and your people when you want it. And it's worth more than anything that I've ever seen. And that's what I'll tell my younger self is if you're willing to do what it takes to get to that life, I promise you it is the most rewarding thing in the world, but you have to go through all the trials and tribulations that are about to come up over the next few years.
I think that's very well said.
I see about 9 people just left the Zoom room. So now we can get to the real stuff.
I'm going to read some of these wins for us, and then I have something else I want to share with you guys. And this is going to be a good day. It's going to be a good day. Mimi is making me hungry. She made tenderloin for Christmas. She says, my energy level is up a little today. Wins. Steve says, my wins is I'm more confident on calling sellers. Terry says, I made peace with my family members. That's a good one. Deborah says, I was sick yesterday, still am, but I pushed myself to get out and go spend 20 minutes with my daughter. That's awesome. Way to go. Let's see some other wins. Wins, intensive preparation for Christmas family gatherings, a huge success. Shout out to Bill. Darylyn, I have 3 follow-up calls I'm going to make on Monday. Nice. Alicia, roller coaster with wins at the end. Oh, I like that. That's very, very good and very common. Heather says a seller who was offended at my offer I made a month ago responded to my follow-up text and is now interested in hearing about seller financing. That is a thing that will happen to you about once a day once you stack up enough of these follow-ups. So, way to go. Shout out to you, Heather. Alicia, got new leads. Heck yeah. Zoom user, we sent an email we finally needed to send. Good. Tim just closed on a purchase Christmas Eve. Let's go, Tim. Nice. Carson, my grandson is learning his trade. Heck yeah. Marilyn, you closed on my first contract with David. Let's go. Marilyn's been working with David. They've teamed up. Way to go, Marilyn. Everybody give a shout out to Marilyn in the chats. Marilyn, Marilyn.
Let's go.
This is a big win. Way to go. We're all alive and together. Joanne says, I got a call with Chris today and did a role play. Oh, that's a big one. Shobna, I sent the agreement earlier today. Nice. Way to go. Um, you're on the right track, and action changes everything. So, on these 12 deals of Christmas, what's the success at the end of these 12 deals of Christmas? By the end of the year, we're live every day except Christmas and Sundays through the end of the year. What is the objective? The objective is that you guys get more wins, more deals, and more reps. What do I mean by that? If you decided you was going to make 19 calls in January and February, 10 calls one month and 9 the following. That means at that pace, at some point, if you do that long enough, you probably will win. It may take you many, many, many months, but you'll probably win. Our objective is to shorten that curve. You say, okay, how do we get there more quickly? How do we get Lauren to have 19 conversations in 4 days instead of 4 weeks or 4 months? How do we get Heather, Carrie, Kay? Again, that's who's on my screen. So how do we get everyone on here? How do we get Deborah and Steve and Terry? How do we get everyone to win more quicker? And that is by putting in more reps. The sooner we take the reps, the sooner we take the action, the sooner the symptom of contracts will show up. And the sooner the symptom of contracts shows up, the more we are likely to soon have the symptom of cash hitting the bank. Is this making sense? Hello? In other words, if you change your oil in your car and you rotate the tires, tires last longer and your car lasts longer. The symptom of that doesn't mean you had a bad car if you didn't do it. It just means you didn't do it. But the symptom of that is your car lasts a lot longer. Now, can you drive on bald tires? Yes. But will it probably end up being a lot more of a headache? Probably when you're sitting along the freeway calling AAA. So, how do we position ourselves for less headache, more wins? Doesn't mean that it will be um, stress free. It just means that we are more likely to win. So, the actions that we take is what leads us there. There's two things I would tell myself if I was starting out. And then, Leo, I want to hear your feedback and perspective before we jump to live calls in a moment. Is I would tell myself, develop your high income skill, number one. And number two, develop yourself. Those are the two things I would tell because I got the high income skill part. I was broke and I had to make money. So I went out and started developing the high income skill of negotiating real estate deals, but I didn't develop myself. And my money started getting a little higher than my self development, and it quickly came back down to meet where my personal development had stalled at. And so that's why in Truca, you hear us constantly talking about this because I believe any of you skip the personal development. You can go develop a high income skill and go get checks. I believe, though, that it sets you up to not enjoy life and for the revenue to come right back down to where your personal development was. However, if while we're developing that high income skill, we can become the business owners and the partners and the fund finders and the private money raisers and all of the things that you need to be as a business owner in this business, if you're developing yourself while you're developing the high income skill, you enjoy your health and have a good relationship with yourself and those around you, your team grows, everything becomes more enjoyable. And frankly, the line becomes blurred, in my opinion, between work and joy because you get to enjoy your work. And that's the gift in this. Um, yeah, just wrap off that, Leo, whatever's on your mind.
Your true net income that you generate will fall to the level of your personal development. And I believe that the sooner we understand that, the sooner we start to prioritize some fundamental things in our life, like our health.
Yeah.
Where when we talk about health, sometimes it's people detach it from their income. You can't do that. If you don't have a good temple, if you don't have a good body and you get sick, who's going to generate the income? It's still on you when you're just getting started. Even when you develop a team, when you go out, you're still the decision maker. You still lead the culture, you still lead the team. If you're not healthy, the team and the business is not healthy. But then on the flip side, if you are developing good, healthy habits mentally and physically, going for walks, why do we do that? Go on have any problem in the world and then go on a 2 hour walk and see if you have any of the same problems. Most of it's going to get solved. But in the making of that, your body is going to respond in a healthy way to say, okay, my body's moving. I have to cut certain fats and certain things in order to match the amount of movement that this dude is going out and making. You know, that's the way I used to explain it when I was a personal trainer. I said, go move and watch your body respond. Watch your mind respond. Read and watch your mind respond to it. Your brain's going to start saying, oh, we got to pick up. We got to start opening up some cogs that haven't been used in a while.
Mm.
And now all of a sudden, different problems are so much easier to solve because I'm reading. Was it the stuff that you read? Sure, some of it, but was it much more likely the cogs that started turning because you used the habit of reading? And so I put out some of these fundamentals. And when I told Andrew this stuff about working out, you know, I saw he's very kind. He wouldn't say it out loud, but his face was saying, "Shut up, Leo. You don't know anything about this." Until we got him in the gym and he started working out and going through some of those motions. And I started to see some cogs turn that wouldn't turn before. And all of a sudden, business started to go up at such a beautiful rate because he started focusing on some fundamental things that we all know are fundamental. But how you do anything is how you do everything. And so while I'm not going to do what I did on 60 Days of Deals, which I told everyone to start working out, I'm not going to do the same thing, but I am still going to say that I said it. So some of you guys will still start doing it. But I promise you, I promise you, I promise you, the truth is when you start to move your body and move your mind consistently every morning, solving the problems in this business becomes so much easier. Staying consistent and doing calls with sellers becomes so much easier. And whenever we bring on someone, when we coach students, it's one of the first things we do. Hey, move your body, move your mind, get moving, and come back and talk to me because you're a different person after you moved. And so I let's get into calls, Andrew, but let's remember that as a core piece for today. How you do anything is how you do everything. Can we move our body a little bit more? Can we, when we're on a call with a seller, stand up? Something that gets us moving.
I like that. Appreciate that, brother. Thank you for that. And this is the part for me that makes or breaks the difference. When we started implementing these strategies, the real estate investing business became so much less stressful. And thank you for that, Leo, because the perspective that you keep coming back to is that holistic approach. And that's why we tie this in on these 12 deals of Christmas, because I don't want any of you to build a time-sucking, money-sucking, mind-sucking machine. I want you to build a freedom machine that maybe there's a season of hustle where you're out cranking some deals for sure. Nothing wrong with that. Go learn a high income skill. It takes time and effort. If it didn't, it wouldn't be worth doing. Except you don't have to create the life suck that I did before we found out how to manage it the proper way. So thank you for being here. And I just want to hear your votes in the chat. Have you guys been getting value out of this the first half? Just give me a yes in the chat if you've been getting value out of this 12 deals of Christmas. If you've been getting some energy and some momentum. Momentum. That's what we want to create together. I like your new license plate behind you, Leo. Is that new?
Yeah, it's from Tokyo or Les got it for
That's
Christmas.
pretty fire.
Yeah. You seen these on the plates in Japan? They had
Yeah.
the green. Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool. Tokyo vibes. All right. So we're gonna do
You
some
ready to
live
make some
seller
calls?
call. What's that?
I said, you ready to make some calls?
I'm ready.
All right.
Let's dive in. I have first here a lead from Russell. Russell has a lead. This is, we're gonna call Mary on Peachtree. This is in Kentucky. Apparently nobody told Russell this doesn't work in Kentucky.
He's joking.
If you guys can hear this ringing okay, just give me a yes in the chat. Yes. Okay, good.
Hello.
Hey, Mary, it's Andrew calling you back on the Peachtree House. How you doing?
Fine.
Good. Did I catch you a good time?
Sure.
Cool. I had down here from my partner, he was looking to sell it for 220, and I just had a couple more questions. You live there, or is this an investment?
Now, this was my sister's house, but she had to move to assisted living.
Oh, got it. Okay. So it's vacant right now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I was looking at the photos online. It looks like it's move-in ready, maybe needs a couple updates, but generally move-in ready. Is that correct? It doesn't really need a bunch of work.
Anything else?
I'm sorry?
I'm sorry. Just a minute.
What was the first name?
Carrie.
1376.
You must be at the grocery.
No, I'm at pickup window.
Oh, nice. Take your time. Russell, are you in the Zoom? Just give me a yes in the chat if you're in the Zoom. Um,
Thank you. Okay. What's your
so
last question?
Oh yeah, I was just asking, does it need any work? It looks dated, but totally livable. Is that an accurate depiction?
Yes,
Okay. And you're asking you're asking how much for it?
220.
220. Okay, 220. That's what I had down. Okay. And then if we was to buy it,
Had several uh, renovations to it. I mean, as far as there's a new roof and within 2 years, new windows, new gutters with leaf guard, new HVAC. Basically, the only thing she didn't replace was the water heater, and it looks fairly new. New
okay,
dishwasher, new garbage disposal, new front and rear doors.
perfect.
So
And do you know if does she still owe money on it or is it paid off?
I hold the mortgage on it.
Okay, hold the mortgage. Um, do you know about how much is left on that mortgage if we was to buy it and take over that debt? How much is left?
It's around $53,000.
Okay. If we was to buy it and agree on a price now and take over the payment, by the way, what's the payment on that debt?
She's paying $425 a month.
Okay. And does that include taxes and insurance, or is that just principal and interest?
No,
Okay.
it's just principal and interest.
Okay. If we was
Since are about $900 a year or something like that.
taxes, okay. And how much is the insurance?
I have no idea.
Okay, it's all good. If we was to buy it and then take over that debt, of course, cover the payments and be responsible for maintenance, repairs, and taxes and insurance. Usually the way we would do it is we would agree on a price now and take everything over, and then we would pay monthly on it until we paid off that full 220 or whatever we agree on a price down the line. We would close with a real estate attorney now, so you and her would be free and can move on. And then it's just a delayed cash sale. We'd pay you out over time. Is that something that would work for you and her?
No, sir.
Got
Like I
it.
said, she's in an assisted living situation and it's pretty expensive. So she really can't take that option.
Got it.
And I wouldn't take that option myself.
If we was to pay here, just so you know, our model, this may not be the best fit. And so the purpose of this call is to find out if it is or not. We do two things. We either buy houses, cash way below value and fix and flip them, but about 80% is paying more money, close to retail and closing with a real estate attorney and then paying it off over time, which nets, in this case, her more money. What would be the least you would take if we paid all cash and closed whatever you want?
220.
Not 219?
So everything she's done to it, it's like $150 something a square foot. So I mean you can look at different websites and I looked at it yesterday. It was like 249 or something like that. So I think 220 is very, very reasonable.
Got it. Okay. So you wouldn't entertain an offer of 219?
Yeah, I didn't entertain an offer of 219.
So there is some flexibility.
Not much.
Okay.
I mean, it's pretty much a good deal with everything that's been done to the house.
Fair enough. Okay. Yeah, we'd probably be in the 220s if you'd give us some time, but to pay cash, we'd be a little bit off from that number. So I'm just gonna note to call you back here in a month or so and kind of follow up on it. Fair enough?
Okay,
All right. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
all right.
All right, bye for now. All right, Russell, put a follow-up on that. So it's probably, I'm just doing a quick glance of the area here. It's in Bowling Green. That's probably a $250,000 house. I don't want to do it because it's so much work and it is dated. And so finding a retail buyer who will actually give 250 for it would be a tough thing, right? If it was pristine and move-in ready and there was 30K of equity, you could contract it at price A and then wholesale at retail at price B. I'm working with Stephen Hope on one of those deals right now, actually. But in this case, with it being dated, it's not going to sell. Somebody is not going unless they're a homeowner and it meets their dream requirements. and they're going, "Oh, cool! I'm getting a $250,000 neighborhood for 220. Like, I want to paint it myself. Like, that's the only buyer who's going to pay her 220 cash for this thing." And so we'll give it another month to settle in. And remember this, write it down, tattoo it on your forehead. Time and circumstance changes every seller's mind. Every time. Follow up. Just like the post I seen from someone a moment ago, that a month ago, they was insulted by my offer. What's up, Tyrannus? Good to see you. Jim, Mimi, so glad you're back. Glad you're feeling better. Susie, Terry. All right. I believe we have a follow-up today with a deal, perhaps with Shobna. Shobna, are you on here?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Where are you hiding at, my friend? Looking for your smiling face, scrolling through. Give me 10 seconds to find you. There you are. All right, we're going to pin you up here with me. Hey, there we are. So, question for you, Shobna. Do we have a follow-up today? Or do you remember where we are with this
I
portfolio?
think the last one was that between you and I, we were supposed to decide as to what strategy to take and what I'll be comfortable with or somebody else to partner with. Those were some of the decisions we then needed to make. But Damiana had given 3 options, and I think you were going with the first one. But we can, I think that is, but you had given her another proposal of that we can buy one of the properties and then, so I don't know. I was not sure whether we need to follow up or not. I was not too clear on that too.
Yes. All right, good. So, for all of you guys, I want to note what is just remind us up to speed what's happening here. There is a 3-house portfolio. It's a duplex and 2 houses, right?
So this they are all 3 are duplexes. One of them is 2-bed, 1 bath, and the other one are 2 and 3, 3 and 2 baths. So that is how it is configuration wise.
Cool.
Yeah.
So there is 3 properties, 6 units then.
3, yeah, no, 3, no, there are 2 duplexes. Of one of the duplex already sold, which was 2-1 for 165. And then there are 2 which are 3-bed, 2 bath, and 1 which is 2 bath, 2-bed, 1 bath.
So is this, how many units total are we getting?
3,
Units.
yes.
Okay. And the price that they have proposed is 535, right?
Correct. That's true. Yes.
And they believe that they're worth about 650 to 680, correct?
Yeah, that is what they said that, yeah.
So right now we're working off their numbers, and they come back and asked if we would buy them for how much down? What was their proposal on offer 1?
Okay, let me bring it up 1 second.
And this overview, guys, for all of you, I want you to be thinking in this way, because this is how we get to cut to the chase quickly. I'm pulling them up here too, so we have them.
Yeah.
Option 1, they said, we will let you have them for 60,000 down, a 10-year note. So it'll be a 10-year balloon, so it cash flows well, and 6% interest. We bumped them down to in the 5s interest and 50 down. They're okay with that. Now, here's what we must do. We must find out, and this is my question for you, Shobna, what is your planned exit strategy for these? What would you want to do with these?
The way you were explaining, I felt that it will be good to have at least 2 of them as buyers, options buyer, and giving as an option. And then one of them either wholesale it or sell it. There were 1 which has sold for 165. They said it's probably in the margins of I think 270 or something with the appraisal.
Yep.
So so that is what I wanted to check with, because this will be my first deal like that. So I have no idea.
So if I'm you, what I am going to do is I'm going to probably recommend that you connect up with, who's your coach, Chris?
David.
I'm going to recommend that you probably partner with either, David gets first choice since he's your coach, but I would recommend you partner with either Chris or Duffy, or
Okay.
K, any of those three.
Who was the third one?
K, who's on here?
Oh,
KR.
yes, yes, K, yes. Hi, K.
Any of those three. And here's why. This is
Yeah,
Elizabethtown, Kentucky.
yes,
They live in that area.
correct.
Boots on the ground and partners and help take this across the finish line. And here's my thought, just so you guys know, this Shobna is part of our Freedom Life family, and here's exactly what is happening behind the scenes. The moment Shobna contracts this for either A, $50,000 down and 535 purchase price, but Andrew, where's the 50K come from? It can come from Shobna, it can come from partner, it can come from private money, it can come from business credit lines. If she's going to lease option the properties, she should get at least that much back as a non-refundable deposit across the three properties. Option two that we gave them, you guys, if you're taking notes, you can write these down, was 535 purchase price. Instead of 50,000 down, we would give them 535 purchase price divided like the following: 145 cash for property A,
Which
seller
will be,
financed 395 on property B and C. Why are we okay either way? Because assuming these numbers check out, and these deals might fall through, we might find out they're full of crap, they're not worth 650 and they need a bunch more work than they said. Or we might find out they're worth 750 and they're home run deals. We don't know until we know, right? So A, get a contract and one of those two options. Now, if someone writes a $50,000 check and it comes back with babies in a few days or a few weeks, that's a win. But also, if they prefer the 145 cash, they get a cash influx. Shobna can sell property A and actually net a profit and still hold property B and C with no money out and get non-refundable deposits right away. Okay? That's how we structure this deal. I wanted to have that discussion with Shobna in front of everyone so you guys can take notes and be soaking it in. And for those of you who are tracking, I know you're loving this. For those of you who uh, lost tracking like I used to do partway through, don't worry. You hear this 2, 3, 4 more times, it starts to stick. You go, oh, that makes sense now. So I'm gonna be watching the chat for the next little bit here. Type in the chat your questions, any questions you have about this deal structure we just put together. Shobna, I'm gonna ask you any questions you have while they're typing in their questions.
so, so we take it for, take it with the first one, which is 2-1 at 145 cash,
Yep.
and pay them over time for 395.
Yep. I believe that math works, right? 535 minus 145 equals, let me double check that.
Yeah, me too, because I may have
535 minus 145 equals 390.
390, yeah. And we take over, I mean, and then we pay over time to them. I think I like it, but it'll be really good to have a partnership. If I'll need a lot of support, so
Yeah.
I may take it on myself, but I think this $145 cash. And then, of course, because the second one sold for that one sold for 165, so it is possible that I'll be able to sell it for 165. It's
Yes.
possible. But need a partnership in terms of helping with this thing, and also if we also with the disposition, right, disposing them off. So if whoever and then some kind of a deal, then I'll probably take your advice on that, or whoever is working with me, to take their advice as to how best to work on that.
Yes. Good. Let me pull up something here that's going to help all of you guys. You guys getting value out of this? Give me a yes in the chat if you're awake and getting value out of this. I'm going to do something here that my thinker brains are going to love, and then I'm going to hate myself that I did this, and I'll tell you why in a moment. I'm pulling it up on my screen now. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. Come on now. There we go. All right. Tyrannus is a yes. Deborah's a yes. Jimmy's a yes. Susie's a yes. Terry's a yes. All right, we're getting value. Good. All right. So we're going to pull this up. What's up, Alicia? Darylyn. Russell says, is one a duplex and how do you lease option a duplex? That's what I'm unclear about, Russell. From what Shobna just described, it sounds like each unit is deeded separately. So that's a fact to be verified. If each unit is deeded separately, if there's truly only 3 units, then that means you can lease option a unit as if it was a condoized, right? If it's a duplex, then you're going to rent it out. And the only way you could lease option it is lease option one side to a tenant buyer who's probably a new investor who wants to rent the other side out to get part of their money back. So that is a fact to be determined that will be found out probably through a quick Google search after this live.
All three of them, all of them have different address. So does it help in that or no? Not
Yeah,
necessarily.
we'll look them up online. I don't want to share the screen because I don't want to share publicly the addresses
Right.
on your
Yeah.
behalf, of course. So, but yes, just go Google each of the addresses and read it, and it will tell you. Carrie says, "What are you paying per month?" Awesome question, Carrie. You're gonna love this. I'll show you. Heather says, "How do you calculate? How do you? Oh, do you have a calculator you prefer to do the math on while the payments will be a 10-year note?" Yes. Judah says, "Are there any interest included?" Yes, on this one there is. All right. So I'm going to share this with you guys. You guys are going to love this. Now, here's the reason I've never shared this before is because some of you are going to be really tempted to run and start analyzing deals that you're never going to freaking buy. And I beg you, don't go pushing any freaking buttons in a calculator until you have a verbal agreement. All right? It feels productive, but it's not. Now that we have a verbal agreement on these deals, I'm going to share this with you and trust that you will not make me regret it. So there's this little calculator you can download. It's called EZ Calculator. Can you guys see my screen? Give me a yes in the chat if you're seeing my screen right now.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yes. Make sure everybody on YouTube. All right. Yes. So present value. If we are going to finance $390,000, we're going to put in here $390,000. Future value. Now, here's where you would be tempted to put 10 years when you get into periods, but we're not going to do that. We're going to zero it out because at the end of 30 years, it's going to be zero. This is what we're going to go in at. Why? Because we want to be able to get the payment lower. Did we agree to 10 years? Yes. Or verbally, we have agreed to 10 years and we're going to do 10 years, but you will recall on that call, I said a 10-year balloon with a longer M. Why did I say that? Because I don't want Shobna paying, I'll show you real quick. I don't want Shobna paying $4,100 a month on these principal and interest. That would be a 10-year note at 5%. I want Shobna to end up paying on a 30-year note, but with a balloon payment in 10 years. You guys tracking? Yes? Making her payment $2,093. If she wants to pay $4,100, God bless her. She can pay the darn things off. But if she's got an empty unit, I don't want her sitting there choking up $4,100 a month trying to hurry up and fill up properties. Ask me how I know. All right. So we write this out. We dial it out. 390,000 is the present value, meaning the amount they're going to carry. 2,093 a month at 5% interest is going to be their payment. It's 360 payments. And then the amortization schedule is all laid out here for your viewing convenience for anybody who's dying to know what this is. And in month 120, she will owe 317. Which, by the way, for those of you who know this, you probably already know this. For those of you who don't, you are now realizing how front-loaded interest is. In the first half of the loan, you've only paid down, what is that, 25% of the debt? Check it out. You can come down here halfway through the loan, 180 months, 15 years into a 30-year loan. You've only paid down a third of it, give or take. Less than half by far. And it's that last 10 years where you're getting all that principal pay down. All right. So you do that to lower your payment. You can pay more if you want. You've got the whole amortization schedule here. And that is how we figure these payments, which, by the way, is probably, Judith, if you or Joe, if you're on here for the 7-house portfolio that we're working together, is probably what we're going to need to do for Sandra, since she has come back on that offer. Is this making sense to you guys? You can type your questions in the chat or just give me a yes if you're tracking this. All right. So Easy Calculator, it's a cool tool. Please don't waste your time on it because 90% of the deals you're going to talk to are not going to do business with you, no matter how sexy the spreadsheet is you send them. So don't create spreadsheets until they've told you yes. I forbid you from even downloading the calculator until you have a contract, okay? Shobna, any more questions?
Yes, I got the, I'll have to look further into it. So my next thing would be to really go deeper into the properties, see what their value currently is in the terms of, because according to them, they are all up to date. There's no repair required. But I'll also see what is the ARV on each one of them, just to make sure that. So is that how best to move forward before
Yes.
anything?
So Google each address, read about each property, confirm
Yeah.
if we have a singular deeded units or if there's more than 3 units there. In other words, is there a duplex or duplexes where you have 1 deed, 2 unit? Make sure that we understand the unit mix properly.
Okay.
And then you, of course, can text me. I recommend as quickly as possible having a chat with either Duffy or Chris.
Okay.
The eyeballs, because they're probably, the moment that this is agreed on, they're going to drive over there and see them. Most likely, I'm not committing their times. Or Kay, who's on here. Kay is incredible at dispoing the properties. And so that's why I was asking the exit strategy. So collaboration there, and you and David should have a quick brainstorm on who you feels best, and you can chat with any or all 3 of the people I just named, or somebody I haven't named. We got lots of Louisvillians.
Yes.
3 more on here I haven't saw on my screen, so thought to name. Way to go. Way to make progress, Shobna. I appreciate you, my friend.
Thank you so much. I have a
Anything you need?
question. So once we make a decision, do we need to call back Damiana and let her know what we are thinking of?
100%. I would recommend reaching back out to her unless we made a commitment of a certain time, which I don't recall.
No, we did. No, we did. I mean, we said that we'll get. I think it was Friday or Saturday. We said, "Do you have time?" But I can check with her. Let her know that we are discussing it. Do they have any questions for us before? Is that
Sounds perfect.
okay?
Reach out to her. Let her know we met today. We chatted over it, and we'll be forthcoming with some updated numbers in the next 24 hours.
Okay, very good.
Way to go. Shout out to you, Shobna, keeping momentum rolling.
Thank you, Andrew.
So nice to see your smiling face.
Same here. Thank you.
Bye for now. All right. I see some questions popping up in the chat. Some good questions. Alicia celebrating Shobna's wins here. Progress. I love it. Elaine says, where is the calculator? Just go to the App Store. If you have an iPhone or a MacBook, go to the App Store. If you have an Android, get an Apple. All right. I have to know. If you are an Apple user, just type Apple in the chat. If you're Android, type Android. I got to find my Apple and my Android people. It's confession time. E. Lopez says, I'm lost, but I'm new. All good. Heather, you have a great question there, which I'm about to answer, but I have to find who my Apple users and my Apple haters are. All right. Steve-O pleads the fifth. Marilyn, Apple times three. Judith, Apple. Sarah, no crapple user. Oh, we got an Apple hater. Devin, Apple. JT, Android. Jane, Apple. Judith, Apple. Joanne, Android. EJ, and think Apple's for the win, but we love all people because Jesus commanded us to. I'm playing. I'm always picking on my Android user. So, what a fun time. Um, Heather had a great question. Says, if we don't, how do we get a verbal agreement if we don't know the payment? Good question, and great clarification. And I was making a point using slight hyperbole there. Download the calculator. You're welcome to download the calculator. In reality, though, what people err on one side of just throwing out numbers out of the thin air, not knowing what the heck they're doing. Ask questions, don't make offers. Ask the seller, find out what they want. And you notice here, the seller, in this case, of the three properties, came back to Shobna with numbers. So we have a verbal agreement that we would take these numbers. Well, they're not outrageous numbers. And so now it's time to pull out the calculator and start calculating, right? What I want to caution anybody against is you get on the phone with someone, especially someone who's a banker or a CPA or any type of deeper thinker brain, and they come at you, well, I don't know, how much are you paying me? And it gets tempting to start punching calculator buttons and offering them all of these fancy things because it feels good. And I want to come back every time to the simple. Least you'll take on payment, least you'll take a month. And usually we buy with nothing down. And so only after we understand that we're in, I say, the same zip code, meaning they're not trying to get way more than the property's worth, or not thinking I'm going to pay them double of what the rent would be for the area. As long as I realize they're not in la la land, I'm willing to start nailing numbers and it's worth a look into. Make sense? So we have some more leads to get to. Let's do this one though. I want to. We have here. We have another lead in. This one's from Michael. This is John. Actually, we're missing John's number. Michael, is Michael in the house? If Michael's on here, resubmit the lead with John's phone number. And we can give John a ring. We're going to do a quick follow-up on Joe and Judith's lead, Sandra, because I want you guys to see it's called, Jane, it's called EZ calculator. Letter E, letter Z, the word calculator. It's a blue calculator with yellow letters. We're going to call Sandra back and see if she has some feedback. I seen she texted Judith. I seen she texted you. I seen what you sent me. So we're going to call her and have another conversation.
Your call has been forwarded.
All right, Judith, send her a message. Let me make sure. Is Judith in the house? Give me a yes if you're in the house, my friend. So good to see you, Marilyn. Always good to see your smiling face. Judith is in the house. All right, note this down. I'm going to say it twice so that you can write it. Make sure you text her and you just say to her, hey, Sandra, we can send you an updated amortization schedule today. What interest rate and balloon period did you have in mind? Hey, Sandra, we can send you an updated amortization schedule today. What interest rate and balloon period did you have in mind? All right. I don't
Andrew,
want to negotiate over text, but I want to re-engage. Here's what happens sometimes. This is why I always preach don't make offers. Because Sandra come back with 5,000 down and tell us a monthly payment, and we went back and forth. We kind of got the idea of where she is on things, and then we put out the offer that was in the range that we discussed, and now she's wanting to talk about interest rate, and now she's wanting to talk about shortening the balloon. Well, I'm open to that, but I want to find out what the heck she wants. Because on text, I can't very well explain, at least not in simple fashion, not as well as we can verbally. There's still a human connection that happens by conversation. And it's imagine right now. So this is Sandra's pushback, and I want you guys to know this because it's going to be a writer downer for negotiations in the future. I'm talking about how to start right, and I'm going to leave you with one more note, and we're going to call one more seller before we wrap. And that is, imagine that you come back to Sandra, and she is getting, I don't remember the exact number now, but let's say the rent roll, I think she believes she's getting like 3,600 right now. The rent roll could be 55 or 5,800. Could be. Not is, could be. You know the difference. Hello? So she is sitting there going, well, I could just rent them and I could just get 5,700 a month. We offered to pay her 2,500 a month. So if we're sitting there looking at the difference between 5,800 potential and 2,500, who here realizes that looks like less than half? Yes? Everybody tracking? Except out of her 5,800 comes taxes. Boom. And insurance. Boom. And a roof. Boom. More like boom, because a roof is expensive. And a water heater. Boom. Now, she takes a year that she's going to bring in $70,000, but she's going to spend 38,000 of it on freaking repairs and dealing with tenant calls late at night. So would she rather net 2,000 to 2,500 keeping the darn things and having the headache, or would she rather net 2,500 certain selling to us, not having to ever worry about a darn thing? That's the actual choice. But that has to be explained through a series of asking questions. Sandra's a smart lady. She gets it. But all she looks at is the number. Well, gosh, I could get 5,800 and they're only wanting to pay me 2,500. Maybe I should rent them and get more money. Except she hasn't put down the calculator to say, wait a second. I'm actually going to net more or net the same every month by selling to these guys and have a lot less headaches. So type it in the chat. Find the hot button. So we got to find out what she actually wants. So we're going to go back. We're going to talk to her about that and find out if that's what she wants. But how is Joe and Judith going to make any money if she's going to net the same from us as she would from tenants? Because they're going to lease option the darn things. They're going to get a tenant buyer in. They're going to get a non-refundable deposit. And they're going to net more rent because all they have is taxes and insurance, not water heaters and roofs and paints. Hello? Everybody getting this? All right. By the way, shout out to you guys, the troopers. I'm going to be giving away more cash in the week ahead. I'm going to be giving some incredible announcements. If you guys are not registered for Houston, by the way, if you are already registered for Houston, just say I am in the chat. If you are not registered for Houston, just say not yet. We got to get you registered for Houston. Guys, if you have tickets and aren't registered, get registered. If you don't have tickets, then you got to talk to the team and get tickets because that is going to be a game changer for you guys. All right. Boom, 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 boom. Let's see who's in the house.
Andrew,
Yes.
E. Lopez had a serious question in the chat. He wants to know about Apple and Text Blast.
All right. Can you read that to me, please? If you have it handy.
Go in there now.
Thank you so much. And
Does having an Apple really help with the text blasting?
no, we don't text blast from our phone. Now, it's cool. Well, that's a whole rabbit trail. The answer's in short, don't text blast people from your cell phone. You're going to soon have a CRM and you can text people who have opted into your texting regardless. And that's going to be really important. But for all of you, get a CRM as soon as possible. I recommend you call people from your cell phone for the first few weeks and get the reps in, but you got to get a CRM and do calls from it and keep your life and your sanity. And text blasting will happen from your CRM. By the way, Ricky is in the house. Shout out Ricky. Ricky, pop up on the screen and say hello to everybody. I'm going to pin you. If I can find you. There you are.
How is everyone doing? So good to be on here. Merry Christmas. I just had to transfer over from my computer to my phone because my computer is glitching out, but really excited to see you guys all in Houston. I'll be there.
Heck yeah. So I just was referencing Houston, as you probably know. Ricky, make sure, if you don't mind, everyone on here, if you have not already registered, just put not yet in the chat again. And Ricky's going to photographically memory all your names, and he's going to help you out. Seriously, he's going to grab the chat and help you guys out. So just one more time, put not yet in the chat. I see you on YouTube as well. I see a bunch of you are already registered on YouTube. I see a few of you are not yet registered on YouTube, so we got to fix that. Ahmed Afifi's hanging out with his
There he is.
in-laws today, and he's on YouTube watching us. Ahmed, I love you, brother. You're incredible.
There
So,
he is.
way to go. All right, lots of good stuff. We're going to do one more call, and then I'm going to give you one more very important note, and we are going to wrap up this day. And tomorrow we're going to be back again. All right. This lead is from Alicia. This is Alicia. Actually, Alicia, could you resubmit your lead with Wes on Schneider? Schneidster. I don't have the phone number for him. So resubmit that when you can. We'll call that one tomorrow. Tao, I see we have another lead from Tao, so we're going to give this one a call. And then tomorrow, I see we have a lead from Mary and from Steve. So keep these coming in. We're going to keep strong with the follow-ups. We're going to keep strong with the momentum that we're building.
I thought I put Wes's lead.
What's that?
Hello?
Hey, it's Andrew calling you back on, I think another house on Oberlin. We talked the other day, I believe. You talked to Tao, and Tao just sent me a message, said you had another house, I believe.
Yeah, so that was the one actually that we just talked that you just mentioned. So it was the 1819 Oberlin.
Yeah.
And that was also in Lorraine, and that one was going for 100 because she actually just sent me a message too a few minutes ago, which I was in the process of replying back to her. But yeah, so it's going for 115,000. There is room for negotiation on the price, but I know that the seller, because we don't own this property directly, we're working with the seller, and someone did submit an offer the week before. Well, no, last week actually. It was last week. Someone submitted an offer last week for 100K, and it was turned down. So I mean, but I'm sure like like for example, 115 is a pretty straightforward price for the property. I was telling Tao about it. Oh, go ahead.
Is it owner financing possible?
Not owner financing. This particular investor, he has multiple properties, and this particular one, he's pretty much wanting to offload just because, like, again, he has other properties he wants to focus on, so he just simply can't keep up with all of them.
How many does he want to sell?
Well, for now, he's just selling this one. I'm not sure about any other property he's selling. This seller is actually friends with my colleague. Like, he actually knows him directly. So that's how we even got the property essentially able to sell, because he was going to go with a realtor, but he ended up coming to our company and said, "Hey, I'll let you guys go ahead and, get this property sold for me," as opposed to going to a realtor. So
yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah, we'll be too far apart on price if we was to do cash. Not enough room, and owner financing. We'll hang out and wait for one that you got with some terms. So appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
All right, bye for now. All right, so we talked to this lady the other day. Tao, we need to get some more direct sellers in the pipeline. These middlemen, middle women. That lady wasn't calling herself a wholesaler, but the middle people are great. It's great connections, but you sure as heck don't want to depend solely on them because I realized after I dialed that it was the same person, and she's, nice lady, but many times you'll start to hear the same repetitive things. 90% of the deals, they're overpriced. They're looking for a retail investor who's looking to buy a traditional property and get a quote good return, which is good traditional return. If you're a doctor making $400K a year and you want turnkey rent-ready properties that you can buy in the Midwest for 120 grand and get 1,000 to 1,200 a month rent, then great. But that's not our model. Is this making sense? Yes. And so understand that some people like that, they just don't get our model. And even when I was asking her about terms the other day, I could tell there was a disconnect going on, even when we verbally agreed on the deal, and then she took another offer. So ask the right questions, continue to follow up, have more conversations with sellers. All right, here's what I'm going to leave you with today. Who's excited to come back tomorrow and learn how to sell these freaking properties? Just put dollars in the chat if you're ready to learn selling. We're going to be giving away more cash. We're going to be giving away more stuff. I've got special announcements coming up next week, and several of you have free gifts coming your way. And I'm excited to see those posts here in the next week or two as those free gifts arrive. So I see the dollars. I see the dollars coming in from Ricky. I see the dollars coming in from Frankie. I see the dollars coming in from Anna. That's what I'm talking about. Abundance, baby. So I want to leave you with this. If I was starting in this business today, or starting to scale up this business today, I would be looking and saying, hey, how do we make sure that we position ourselves in the path of success? I'm going to give you guys these 2 takeaways to look for. And I really want this to be the actions that you take. And that is number 1, consistent phone calls. Just get on the phone with sellers and screw it up. Just consistent. Can I get it way below value? Or can I get it on payments over time? That's it. And then on the side of selling, I'm going to be digging in tomorrow, showing you how to do that. But I want to give you another writer downer of what I would do every single day. And it may sound woo-woo. If it does, forgive me. I believe in it because I know how it's changed my life. But please pick you a book and every single morning, start with gratitude and reading. For me, I start every single morning. I chug a bottle of water, and the first words out loud out of my mouth are, thank you, God. It's my way of letting everything around me know and myself know, Andrew, it doesn't matter if you're feeling great today or you're feeling a little less sleep than needed because you had to wake up for an early flight. It doesn't matter. Thank you, God, I'm alive and I'm healthy. The water is a habit, makes me feel better. It's good for the health. The thank you, God, is a mindset shift. And then I immediately, before I go scrolling social media, before I do anything else, it's something Leo said to me one time, shifted my perspective on that because I used to get up, I would look at my phone and start texting people back first thing. I'm an early riser and everything is worse at 3 a.m., right? Like literally, something happens at 11 a.m. after I've been up and running for a long time. It's no problem. I'll take care of it. But at 3 a.m., everything is a nightmare. Everything is horrible. Anybody realize what I'm talking about? Everything is worse at that time. And it's because you haven't got to set up your day yet. And so I started making it a habit. When I get up, I chug the bottle of water. I say, thank you, God. And I read. I read by intention. For me, I read the Bible and I read a book. About half the books I read is about becoming a better executive or a better communicator or a better leader. I love John Maxwell stuff. I love Atomic Habits by James Clear. I love books that are all about becoming and doing. And then about half the books that I do are about more technical and tactical stuff, learning skills. learning investing, learning real estate, always learning the next level of the thing, right? Because you learn tax liens and deeds, and then you're doing those, and then you learn short sales, and then you're doing those, and you learn boss flow, and you're doing that. You learn wholesales, and you're doing that. And then you learn funds, and then you learn what commercial lenders are looking, and then you learn there's always a next level. So I'm always growing, always building. And after I've started my day, the first hour, drinking, talking to God, reading, and moving my body, now I'm ready to take on the day. So you don't have to start out like that if you don't have a morning routine. Just start with something small, but please take a certain action and start building a repetition. This is not a New Year's resolution. This is something I want for you to implement as a habit that I believe the symptom of is that you are able to be more abundant, because something is going to come up. And this is it. This is the thing, guys. If I could tell 21-year-old Andrew, there's going to be a deal come up. It's going to be exciting. You're going to contract it. It's probably going to have 10, 20, 30, $50,000 of profit. You're going to be giddy. And one of two things is going to happen. Either it's going to go through, and now you've got to learn the next level of being a good operator because you got to go do it again and you're building wealth, or it's going to fall through. And if it goes through, the 3 a.m. thoughts, if you're like I was starting out, are, oh crap, how am I going to pay for this thing? What if I can't sell it? And if it falls through, the 3 a.m. thoughts are, oh crap, can I even do this business? Is this business even real? Can I actually close a deal? And it didn't matter which way it went, my 3 a.m. thoughts were, oh crap. And so I just ran like crazy. It's all I knew to do. I'd wake up early, I'd go to sleep late, I'd do more deals. And then I just found out I had 26 houses that are now I purchased in a matter of about 9 weeks. And I'm going, oh crap, times 26. How am I going to sell all these houses? Now I got to sell these houses, and I sell them. And then I'm going, well, crap, I got to buy more houses. And I lived in the oh crap phase for several years. And I call that the roller coaster phase, because it didn't matter what happened. A check would come in, I would celebrate for the evening, and then I would go right back to work. And I never understood how to actually become an operator. Type it in the chat, become an operator. When you start getting deals, the next phase is being a great operator. And that's what these 12 days are about, is starting to build reps so that when the deal comes through, you go, all right, now my next step is, how do I sell it well? When the deal falls through, you go, there's a better one right behind it. Where do I go find that better one? But every single day you're not shaken. It's not an emotional roller coaster like it was for me starting out, because there's big decisions. And you're dealing with houses, and you're dealing with people who are making big decisions, selling houses or buying houses or doing all the things. And every day is a roller coaster. There's a person who's supposed to bring $20,000 non-refundable deposit, and they show up with it, and you're excited, and then you act too excited, and they wonder what's going on, or they don't show up with it, and suddenly you're depressed and you're almost angry. They were supposed to be there with 20K, and you thought it was coming in. So if we can learn the flow every single morning, doesn't matter whether the deal came through or fell through, thank you, God. Every single morning, doesn't matter whether the loan and the refi and the portfolio closed or didn't close. It's thank you, God, I'm going to read and grow today. And every single day puts me one step closer to the next level. That's what I would tell 21-year-old Andrew, because that's the part that he missed that made him create a time-sucking machine where he was managing 66-unit mobile home park and a 12-unit multifamily, along with a bunch of single-family houses, and driving around collecting rents for many months, hating his life, and struggling to buy more houses because he was chasing rents all the time. And so when I speak these things, it comes from, I've been on the other side of that coin, and I want to do everything I can. Yes, there's going to be mistakes made. I know that. We're never perfect the first time around. That's okay. But stay close to the fire where less mistakes are made. Does that make sense? Yes? Everybody enjoying this? Steve said, Deb from previous call with Andrew said she's not allowed to tell me what seller owes, so the seller doesn't want terms and wants me to submit a cash offer, and I don't know what to offer. Let's, Steve, Sarah, if you guys can submit that and text her and let her know we'll call her tomorrow, whatever this time is in be Eastern time, between 3 and 4 Eastern. And we will follow up with her tomorrow and we will make them happy submitting that cash offer after they tell us what it would want. And I'm going to give you guys this note. I will ask them when they say just submit an offer like that. I'll say, cool. That'll actually be my next step. What numbers should I put on that offer just so I'm not wasting your time or mine? Which comes right back down to what do you want out of the property? Answer questions with questions. All right. Guys, we are going to conclude today. And tomorrow we'll be back the same place, the same time. I have a lot of exciting things to share tomorrow. I'm going to have had much more sleep tonight than I had last night. So I will be on my game and the calls and the whole thing will be better, I assure you. So if today was awesome, tomorrow will be better. If you thought today sucked, well, sorry. I'll charge more next time. All right. Be blessed. See you soon.